By the way, if you missed anything, you can stream the show or listen on demand anytime. Just download the Odyssey app. That's AUDACY. Save WEEI as a favorite, and you can listen wherever you go. It's Christian Arcand. It's Andy Hart taking you up until 6 o'clock. And joining us in studio right now is our good friend Brian Ferzoco, who you see back there in the production studio sometimes, back in the video room as well. He is our resident Chicago Bears fan, and he's had a very tough week. You've had a tough week, haven't you, Brian? And it's all football related is what I would say. Can we get Brian's mic on, please? If we could. There
My mic's not on. Nobody's mic is on.
I would say tough couple weeks. Ever since the bye, which was right after week 6 or week 7 bye, last 2 weeks as a Bears fan has been brutal.
Bad enough that they'll lose to the Patriots, who have lost to the Dolphins with Snoop Huntley, have lost to the Tennessee Titans, who suck, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who also suck. They lose to sucky teams. So as bad as the Bears are, what makes you think that the Patriots can't lose to them?
Well, I think it starts with the coach. I think the team has completely tuned the coach out. I think after that Hail Mary a few weeks ago, everyone remembers the Commanders game, Jaden Daniels' Hail Mary at the end of the game. And, the cornerbacks waving to the fans and already celebrating before the game's over. The coach isn't calling timeouts. He's saying plays don't matter leading up to the touchdown, and it's just really been a mess ever since then. You've seen players coming out speaking about it. DJ Moore walking off the field mid-play last week in Arizona. You have, them having players walk out of practice, during the week last week when they find out that their bench, that was the cornerback who was waving to the fans against Washington. This is a team that really hasn't played well all year. They start off slow. They have 10 first-quarter points the entire year this year. 10. Only team with less is Philadelphia, which is shocking because I think that team's like 6-2 or something. They are the only team in the league who's never scored first in a game. So they've always are playing from behind. Last 2 weeks, they've allowed 381 yards on the ground. So if any team's going to run on, if this is any week for the Patriots to run, it'd be this week. They just lost when they're starting defensive tackles to a torn pec. So this is already a team who can't stop the run. They're already getting worse in terms of stopping the run along the defensive line. I feel like this is the prime position for the Patriots to get a win against a team that's, in terms of the standings, middling. I think they're the first team, in the hunt graphic that they put up in games. I think they're technically the first team there because they're 4-4. But I think that's a bit of a deceiving record.
They beat bad teams. I know they lost to Tennessee to start the year, but since then they
beat Tennessee.
Oh, they beat Tennessee. Excuse me. All right. So, yeah, they beat all the bad teams. They beat Tennessee. They beat Carolina. They beat the Jaguars. Like, they've gotten the job done against inferior teams. I don't know how you can look at these two rosters and think that they won't be able to get right against the Patriots.
But I would say Arizona's a bad team. I know Arizona's 5-4 and they have a couple good wins.
Better than the Patriots.
Yeah, they're better than the Patriots.
But even still, I don't think Carolina's a great team.
No, not a great team.
No, Carolina sucks.
Arizona's a good team or anything. Okay. And, that Tennessee game, you said that they basically should have lost that game. They didn't score an offensive touchdown. I think they only had 6 offensive points. They needed, defensive scores.
Williams had a bad game. I remember
Will Levis was throwing the ball all over the place, falling to his knees, holding his hands on his head. He had no idea where he was, what he was doing. And, I look at this Bears team. There's a lot of talent on it. On paper, you look at it. You look at, all the weapons they have on offense, a lot of names on defense who aren't huge names but are good players. But I don't see a lot of them playing up to what they should be playing. Keenan Allen looks old. He looks slow. He looks a little bit out of shape. There were reports in the offseason that he had put on some weight. I think that's true. And he also suddenly dropping balls, which, I've never really watched a ton of Keenan Allen when he was with the Chargers. I didn't realize he had he had a case of the drops.
Yeah, but Dunze and Moore are both playing well and being productive, right?
There's some disconnect with Caleb Williams and DJ Moore, and they've been talking about it during the week this week. I don't know if Moore is upset that he's now no longer the focal point of the offense, which he was in Carolina all those years, which he was last year in Chicago because he's really their only option with Justin Fields. I don't think he likes helping develop a rookie quarterback. Now, not that Justin Fields was some elite passer, but he was further along. It was his 3rd year last year. He was, been in the league for a couple of years. He was sort of further along than Caleb Williams was at this time. He looks disinterested. He got his money this offseason. He might just kind of be happy that he got his money and sort of upset that he's not getting the ball as much because he's been complaining, like I said, walking off the field in the middle of plays. Like
I've never seen that.
TJ Moore looks uninterested. And for a guy who, seems like a good dude, great player, I've been shocked by this. And it feels like something's been off with him all year. It started week 2 in that Houston loss, looking upset on the sideline, sitting by himself on the bench. He's just looked
So he's a
totally
diva receiver. I mean, we could just boil it all down to he's a diva receiver.
Right. But I think there are times diva receivers can be happy right? I think
Sure.
DJ Moore was. He's not a
Usually when they're getting the ball 8 to 10 plays a game.
He wasn't a different guy last year than he is this year. He was just getting the ball more. So the diva part of him is kind of coming out.
But 2 guys came in, Allen and Adunze.
Right.
So that changes everything. I will say I went to my FanDuel app while he was babbling on about they didn't score.
Yeah.
And I put a couple bucks down on the Patriots. Because if you let the Patriots play from ahead,
Easily swayed this guy.
absolutely.
All Breslow just has to say, oh, yeah, we're going to be very active.
Little gullible Andy.
Brian just has to say, oh, yeah, the Bears stink. Yeah, okay.
No, it's the start. It's that they don't score in the first quarter. Because we've seen teams drive it down the Patriots' throats, set a tone. Now, the bad
Titans just did that, yeah.
The bad example is the Jaguars game where they went up 10-0 and then went down 22-10 like that very quickly. But no, I like my guy Drake Maye. He's telling me how dysfunctional. Is this a game where I'm going to say it? Yeah, I'm going to say it. Do the Patriots have the coaching advantage? Do they hate their coach more than this team, whatever's its coach? I don't know if they hate their coach. Just
Eberflus, yeah, I mean, I don't know if they hate him or not. It seems like they've tuned him out a little bit. I could buy into that. Before we let you go here, Brian, would you trade Williams for May if you could right now?
So I wouldn't do it yet. I'm probably closer than I was, say, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, in this offseason during the draft. Williams, I think he has a higher ceiling than Drake Maye. The talent is through the roof.
He's got a lower floor, too, because he's a bit of a dink.
But he's got a bad attitude.
Has he painted his nails?
Yeah, he's been doing it. He likes to do a different one every week.
Is he wearing a man purse?
I haven't seen the purse.
Has he cried?
No crying yet. But if they lose to the Patriots and go to 4-5,
he should cry if they lose to the
tear
Patriots.
Or two. But he has happy feet at times. There was all that talk about Drake Maye's footwork, in the offseason, Dan Orlovsky, all that.
Yeah.
I look at Caleb Williams, and I see it just up and down, and I'm like, let's just drop back. Let's just calm down. He has happy feet, and when you have a bad offensive line and happy feet, it's not a great combination.
Nope.
He also tries to look for the big play all the time, which, he did a lot in college, which also, if you have a bad offensive line, hard to kind of match those two things together.
Yeah. He had momentum, though, during that win streak, right? Like when they beat the Rams in the he had good games.
Totally.
With good numbers, and then these last two, it's
But again,
off.
the teams you just mentioned, right? The Rams, who were super banged up at the time, and even still, I don't think that defense is very good. The Panthers and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
All those defenses suck. All those secondaries suck, especially.
You know what they have in common with the Patriots? Everything. They all suck. They're just suck bag group of teams. We'll see. We'll see if this ends up going this way or not. Brian Ferzoco, our resident Bears fan, thank you
he
for
didn't even put his
insight.
Bears jersey on.
Oh, you got a Bears
jersey?
jersey? What do you got here? What is Oh, Mitch Trubisky.
Mitch Trubisky.
My goodness. I can't believe you haven't burned that thing.
That's worse than a Mac Jones jersey. That's worse than a Mac Jones was a Pro Bowl rookie.
So
he was.
Trubisky was a Pro Bowl his second year.
Not really.
Well, neither was Mac, really.
Mac Jones was closer to a real Pro Bowler than Trubisky, if I remember correctly.
I'd say they were both very far away. But either way, thank you for the insight there, Brian.